42 migrants, including 8 children, arrived in Los Angeles from Texas last night. Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordered the migrants to be bused here, claiming his state is being overrun.
California's governor has called out Abbott over the act. KCAL News reporter Rick Montanez live in the Chinatown section of downtown LA. Rick?
And good morning. I just talked with a representative from CHIRLA. That's the Coalition for Humane Immigrants' Rights here in Los Angeles. And they say a handful of those migrants that arrived last night are staying with loved ones this morning. But the vast majority of them do not have any connection here to Southern California. They are expected, though, to come back to the church this morning to meet with immigration attorneys to begin working on their asylum requests. What's still unclear, though, is whether they had a choice in taking that bus ride and if they even knew that Los Angeles was the destination. We can show you some video of the advocates at work after they arrived here yesterday. The advocates are calling this move inhumane. They say the migrants were put on a 23-hour bus ride from Texas without food or water. 42 migrants, as we said, including 8 children, sent at the direction of Texas Governor Greg Abbott. This move is part of Abbott's plan to send migrants to sanctuary cities, he says, to relieve the burden on border cities. In this neighborhood today, differing opinions on how to deal with asylum seekers, but most we've talked with do not agree with Governor Abbott's approach.
It's going to be rough for them. I mean, it's going to be rough for everybody. In LA, the city is already full of many, many homeless people. I mean, it's overwhelming, the more people coming in.
He's obviously a person who's been elected that is not strong enough to meet the moment in his state, but that's okay because all these people here in Los Angeles and in California are more than capable of welcoming these folks here because Los Angeles is a place and a city for everyone.
So Governor Abbott says in his statement, in part, Los Angeles is a major city that migrants seek to go to, particularly now that its city leaders approved its self-declared sanctuary city status. This also comes after another group of migrants was flown into Sacramento several weeks ago. LA Mayor Karen Bass says that the city was not caught off guard by this and was able to mobilize quickly to help these migrants. And she says that the city is prepared if there are additional groups of migrants sent here to Los Angeles. Reporting live in Chinatown, Rick Montanez, KCAL News.
All right, Rick, thank you for that. We now want to bring in immigration attorney Catherine Ferrigno for some insight this morning. Catherine, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. I think a lot of people, when they're hearing this story and you hear that some of them potentially have court dates on the East Coast of the United States, they've been bused here, they don't even know where they're going when they get here. What happens to the migrants next, and what are their rights?
Well, ideally, they're connected to attorneys who can assist them either with filing a motion to change venue to Los Angeles, where they're located. That's the benefit of having some of these attorneys that are now linked up with them.
And let's talk about the sanctuary city status. Is there a reason why LA should be a sanctuary city? How would this benefit people here?
Well, it's kind of a separate issue in my mind, because a sanctuary city basically says that for undocumented people, it's a safe haven. But those are a lot of people that maybe are kind of living here. They came in possibly illegally, and nobody really knows they're here. That's a different situation that we're seeing here. These are people that are seeking asylum the lawful way. They are not in hiding. They're actually proactively seeking asylum and trying to go through the immigration process here. So they don't really need the benefits of a sanctuary city potentially in this situation. So there was really no need to send them, per se, to a sanctuary city.
It's to make a point, though, right? I mean, this is a political point that these governors from Florida and Texas are trying to make here in California. I think what often gets lost, and something you can help us with, is that you deal with people every day. I mean, we use the term migrants and immigrants and people seeking asylum, and it's just one big broad way of describing, but these are human beings that are being taken from one place and dropped off in another, and a lot of times do not speak the language. Can you just try to humanize this situation for us a little bit?
Sure. Well, that is absolutely correct. When people talk to these people that are here, it's much different to hear a story on the news versus hearing, the persecution maybe somebody faced back home and understanding why they're fleeing in the first place. A lot of these people have faced very, very horrific things back in their home country, and that's the reason that they are taking this risk of fleeing their country with their family and their small children. And that is something that's often missed. Some of these people are just trying to save their family.
Yeah, really difficult here. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us and providing that insight.
Thank you for having me.